Welcome to part 2 of the 10.4 notes. Take a look at problem number 4. So this example does not have log base 10. You might be saying to yourself, oh no, it just told us in part 1 that my calculator will do log base 10. Doesn't say anything about log base 4. However, check this bad boy out. So you got a little something called the change of base formula. And with the change of base formula, you can change it into base 10. So notice, original problem, little guy, that's the base number. He becomes the log that goes on the bottom. Big guy, or the argument, becomes the log that goes on the top. And notice the little tiny b in here. I don't know if I can circle it or not. So the little tiny b is what you get to choose. So as long as b is positive and not equal to 1. But if you think about it, if you're given the choice of what base you want to use, well, duh, we can use base 10 because it can be done on the calculator. So all we're going to do for these guys is change. So anytime you have a base that's not base 10, you can break out the change of base formula. So notice in number 4, I've got the argument, or the big number. I write him as log base 10 on top. Not going to bother writing log base 10 because it's understood to be 10 if you don't write it. Notice the base number is 4. I'm going to write log base 10 of 4 on the bottom, and I get to pick up a calculator because it's now log base 10 and type it in there. So bear with me while I do that. Log of 25 divided by log of 4. And notice in the directions, I think you can see, 4 decimal places. So approximate 4 decimal places would be, and again, this is just me putting it on a calculator, 2.3219, and then the 9's followed by a 2 right here. So I'm not going to round that guy up. And 2.3219, that's it, all she wrote. So pretty simple little formula here. So all you're doing, problem number 5, is taking the big number, putting that guy on top, the little number of the base, putting that guy on the bottom, and pressing a bunch of calculator buttons. So let's try this one. I got the log button and an 8 divided by another log, this time a 6. I hit enter, and I'm assuming you can round accurately. This guy says 1.16055. So if I got a 55, I'm going to round that 5 up to a 6. And I got 1.1606 approximately. Problem number 6. So a little more complicated. Hopefully you remember from part 1, we said that any time that you have an exponent in a log, you should pull out the power rule. So I am moving that w minus 5 out in front. Log base 6 of 9 equals 2. So then right here, well, this guy looks like the last 2 problems that we just did. And if he's like the last 2 problems we just did, it's like, hey, log base 6, I don't want that. So I'm going to do the change of base formula. So right here, in place of this guy, I'm going to make a fraction. Log, big guy on top, little guy on the bottom. So still a change of base formula. Granted, it was within the problem. But if you don't have base 10, that's what you do. Okay, well, the goal is to get the w by itself. I got to get rid of a minus 5 by adding 5 eventually. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of that log 9 over log 6. Do we remember what a reciprocal is? Reciprocal is multiplying by the reverse of the fraction, or flipping it. So that'll get rid of this guy. So, log 9 on the bottom gets rid of the log 9 on the top. Log 6 on the top gets rid of the log 6 on the bottom. So I'm almost home here. Now, I don't really need the parentheses. Let me move this guy up a little bit. So any way you look at it, you want to get a minus 5 to the other side. I got to add 5. All right, well, eventually I want to type this into a calculator. So yeah, you could put it in right now. You could do 2 times log 6 divided by log 9, but you got a crazy long decimal. Might as well wait to the end. Plus 5 on one side, plus 5 on the other side. Got W by itself. So I am going to pick up my calculator, and I'm going to type that mess right there. Now keep one thing in mind. Fractions, parentheses around them. That way your calculator knows it's doing a fraction. You've got to type this in horizontally. So here we go. I got a 2. I got times. I'm using parentheses. I got a log 6 divided by a log 9. And I could have typed this in, ahead of time, but eventually I'm going to have to do that plus 5. So if I type it all in one line, the calculator is going to do all the math for me. Life is good. Approximately 6.6309. The 9 is followed by a 2. I'm not going to round it up. So that's the conclusion of section 10.4. Change of base formula and some log problems. Hope you followed. Got any more questions? You know the guy to ask. Thanks for watching.